mystery of Padme Amidala's death has been left unresolved for quite a bit of time. Even Vader does not know what truly happened to her. Darth Sidious told Vader that during Anakin's rage on Mustafar, Anakin accidentally killed her. Of course, we know deep down Vader did not believe this story. The love of his life is gone, and sadly without a clear answer as to why. But today, we hope to make Darth Vader a bit less angry, as this cold case is finally solved. Sit back and enjoy, as this video explains how the angel from the moon of Diego lost her life. Star Wars District has pieced together the many clues to the puzzle, and it all starts with hitting the subscribe and like button. So let's pick up with the last quarter of my video titled The Secret Plot Against Padme. I am happy that so many people enjoyed my fan theory. As I said to a few of my fans in the comment section, I have a few sub-theories as to how and or why Padme died. So consider this a part 2 of the secret plot against Padme. Who knows? This could be my very own trilogy in the making. With that in mind, I will not completely spoil part 1's ending, but a quick spoiler-free recap. Someone killed Padme. Please take a moment to watch that video and then resume this video for the full context. Now that you are back, as I stated in part 1, Padme is giving birth to the future of the Jedi Order and the galaxy overall. Luke and Leia are very important people. However, Padme does not survive giving birth to her children. It's a sad moment. In my previous video, foul play was afoot surrounding the childbirth. Many agreed with my theory and some did not. However, in this video, I have a different take. So let the image sink into your mind. Padme is giving birth. She is using her will and physical strength to bring life into the world. However, she is hurting and dying for what is called unknown reasons. My realization and theory is that Padme is dying because she does not have her tether with her. Now, what does this mean? If you naturally assume I mean Anakin, you are partly correct. Padme as a character is an altruistic person. She is the type of person that gives to others without considering or at the expense of herself and her well-being. The Star Wars galaxy has so much widespread turmoil and conflict. Picture generational trauma, but on a galactic scale. Padme was born on the planet of Naboo to a family of nobles known as the Bravery. Naboo is a planet that is semi-elite. They do not have most of the major issues that other planets have. They even have good weather year-round. Naboo recognizes their good fortune. So, generally speaking, the culture of the Naboo people is to help others as often as they can. That is why, before the age of 5, Padme's parents had her off-world, conducting humanitarian missions to save the world. As a result, this is her normal, helping others before herself. Fortunately, Padme was elected Queen of Naboo. The head of her security detail, Captain Panaka, saw that having a team of skilled decoys, locksmiths, computer slicers, marksmen, and fighters all disguised as handmaidens would be essential to keeping young Amidala balanced. Remember, Naboo tradition allows for young children to be crowned ruler of the planet. As Yoda once said, truly wonderful the mind of a child is. So Padme was 14 years young when she was elected queen of all Naboo. She was a teenager. Captain Panaka essentially assigned loyal young girls to aid Padme in ways that he would not be able to. Quickly, the group became true, deep friends. In the long run, this might have been a mistake though. Due to her job responsibilities and her family upbringing, Padme never took the essential time to truly learn herself, all by herself. In crucial ways, Padme was a mystery to her own self at times. Padme always had a team of people or friends around her. This sounds very nice, but it caused her to almost form a split personality. Please, do not get caught up on the term split personality. I am not saying Padme has a split personality. It is simply the best explanation I can give without doing the Sigmund Freud level research. Padme is as mentally healthy as we can all hope to be. Now, let's resume. Padme never noticed that she was developing a bad emotional habit. There was never a need or time for her to develop good emotional habits because she had trusted friends around her to handle that task. Now, after the Naboo invasion by the Trade Federation, her secret strike force of handmaidens became less necessary in their original intended function. This was because Padme was no longer Queen of Naboo and had become a galactic senator. The way her handmaidens functioned had to change and the amount she traveled with reduced. Essential friends or not, Padme could not conduct political business with a large entourage. Thus, the people that Padme was accustomed to venting with and bonding was reduced. Padme had 13 handmaidens: Corday, Rabe, Irate, Sachet, Yane, Dorme, Verse, Carte, Mote, Ele, Duja, Tekla Minau, and especially Sabe. This list sounds a bit like that one DMX song. Anyway, only those whose skill sets transitioned well to being senator aide continued actively serving the former queen. Now, Padme is a politically sharp person. She is poised, articulate, and kind. But as a person, Padme at the very least is divided into 13 to 15 parts, including Anakin and herself. Her emotional well-being is subdivided. Each one of her handmaidens understands their role in her life. They know how to manage her. They highly respect and value the work Padme does to help make the hurting galaxy a better place. Yet deep down, each member quietly understands that Padme is a ticking bomb. They know she will explode if she is not tended to. Not in an entitled, spoiled brat type of way, but in a nurturing family way. Her friends all reflexively understand that Padme pours all of her essence into helping others. Padme seems not to be aware, but her friends know it is extremely draining to her. They function to help keep her sane, especially Corday and Sabe. Together, these two women represent Padme's deepest connection to herself. So, as her role changes from queen to politician, some of her essential connections have to remain on Naboo. Without realizing it, Padme's tethers have been snipped. However, her core is still intact, and she then adds Anakin Skywalker into her heart romantically. But, in order to keep her marriage secret, increasingly, more and more over time, Padme separates herself from the people who have been with her from the time she was a teenager to adulthood. Her core and her connection to herself is slipping away. Now, to uncover the truth behind the demise of Padme, you have to allow the story to settle. So, please, keep the comment section civil and please hit the subscribe button while you wait. Thank you. So, as we have seen in the Attack of the Clones movie, her decoy, Corday, was murdered by a bomb exploding on her ship. Padme has been reduced even further in the number of handmaidens, and a very large part of herself was lost when Corday died. Her knowledge of self is further slipping away. Padme worked a very stressful job, being a senator, and the number of humanitarian efforts she did increased tremendously, especially as the Clone War began. She was on several special committees and was an important member of Bail Organa's political faction. So on a daily basis, Padme was serving everyone, and the amount of people that usually helped to keep her together was not around as much anymore. This equation is, needless to say, imbalanced. Plus, even though they truly loved each other, add on the fact that she was in love with a younger man. A man that was not the most emotionally stable either. This fact was very clear to her handmaiden Sabe. She has the deepest knowledge of Padme, and thus was able to figure out that not only was Padme in a relationship with Anakin, they were also married. Sabe voiced her opinions and concerns to Padme. Sabe was able to clearly see that Anakin was not mature enough emotionally to be the constant source of love, comfort, and companionship that Padme would require to serve others and not break. Anakin loved Padme, but Sabe was able to see that it was obsessive, destructive love, and it would be hazardous to Padme in the long run. Anakin did not have the insight or relationship experience to know how to be married. How to be an effective husband, lover, and friend takes time and life maturity to handle, especially to a woman in Padme's position. Sabe told Padme as much. Such an example of Anakin's lack of understanding can be seen as far back as the Attack of the Clones movie. Padme did not invite a single family member or handmaiden, i.e. closest friends, to her wedding. Anakin has met Padme's family. He is aware of their close, loving dynamic. A mature man would be able to know that despite having to hide their relationship, he should have talked Padme into allowing just her mother and father to attend the wedding. In reading the Attack of the Clones novel, Anakin and Padme's dad have a brief but significant conversation. At the end of it, the audience can tell that her dad will keep any secret that will keep his daughter happy. They could trust that the secret would be safe. Anakin should have argued to have his in-laws present at the wedding. As a husband, you are always responsible for the mental and spiritual well-being of your wife. Anakin was 19 years old and not ready to understand that he was not ready for the complexities of a wife. Instead, from the moment they were married, Padme began hurting herself by putting up emotional walls and pushing people away. As I mentioned, Padme was never alone enough to be able to keep herself together on her own. Or rather, she did not have a lot of practice with it. So, when the furious Sabe confronted Padme on how she could get married and not invite at the very least either Corday or herself, it deeply hurt Padme to realize that she offended the most loyal and dedicated friends ever. Sabe dedicated her life to Padme, and not getting the invite caused their friendship to stop. Ultimately, Sabe resigned serving Senator Amidala. So fast forward, Padme's connection to her handmaidens is not as strong. Her husband is off fighting the war. She is continuing to serve others, and her deepest connections are either dead or abandoned her. Then comes the birth of her children. Padme's biological family is not present. Her handmaidens are all gone, and the love of her life tried to kill her and his unborn child. The only people around for what is supposed to be the greatest moment of her life are droids, her boss, Bail Organa, Yoda, who essentially is a stranger, and Obi-Wan Kenobi, the big brother of the man who tried to kill her. Padme was completely fractured. The Clone War separated Padme from her family. Her husband was about to officially become Vader. Her handmaidens were gone. And my big theory is that Padme died because she realized that Sabe was ultimately correct about Anakin. Essentially, Sabe was her self-chosen big sister. At the time of giving birth, Padme needed Sabe, her oldest friend. At this moment, more than anyone. Even more than Anakin. Regardless of if he did or did not become physically abusive, Sabe represented her family. After realizing her elected sister was correct on the subject that caused them to stop being friends, Padme was so lost and confused. Padme felt she would not be able to handle telling Sabe that she was correct about Anakin, that she hid being pregnant from Sabe, and on top of all that, Padme had the children without Sabe. Their relationship was not strong enough at this point to bounce back from something like this. Plus, Anakin was also dead to Padme, possibly only temporarily though. The fact remains that the only other person with a strong enough connection to Padme would be Sabe. The idea of disappointing Sabe yet again was more than Padme could physically handle while giving birth. Obi-Wan, Yoda, or Bail did not know the details of Padme's life. Padme could have easily been talked into restoring her will to live if she had Sabe by her side. Padme was tired emotionally and physically, but she died because she thought she had failed Sabe yet again. And Padme never learned how to cope and deal with emotional situations without her network of friends. She did not have the energy to fight on. As a result, Padme lost the will to live. She was simply too fractured to continue. Now, did I fracture my audience with this fan theory? Please let me know what you think in the comment section. Please hit the like and subscribe button, and I truly thank you for checking out Star Wars District. I am a small channel, and your continued support is helping me grow quickly. I do not have the ability to give out awards and prizes yet, so I will instead extend a deep, sincere thank you to you all. Take care for now. Peace and health.